The American Southwest faces a multitude of threats when it comes to climate change. Hotter temperatures, increased forest fires, and longer droughts, to name a few. It's a monumental problem, but a problem Colorado State University professor Scott Denning can describe in 3 words.
Simple, serious, and solvable.
New Mexico State University is hosting experts like Denning as part of a year-long seminar series about climate change. The simple part of his talk focuses on how and why climate is changing, while the serious portion centers on consequences for humans and the environment. On the solvable side, Denning says New Mexico is poised to take advantage of renewable energies.
You have abundant sunshine. I've been here for a couple of days. I haven't seen a cloud yet. And you have good wind resource. You're well positioned for sort of new tech and intellectual capital, and the workforce of New Mexico is rising to the challenge of developing new technologies. So I mean, there's a challenge there, but like many challenges that people have faced over the years, I'm optimistic that you guys, and maybe more broadly the human race, will rise to this challenge and solve this problem.
While Denning says the world is already moving in the right direction to generate more renewables, the pace needs to pick up. A 2018 report by the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has added to that urgency. To limit severe damage, it says worldwide carbon emissions must be cut roughly in half by 2030 and reach net zero by 2050.
It would have been better had we gotten really serious about this 30 or 40 years ago. But it's never too late to stop making it get worse, right? We are moving in the right direction. We need to move faster. I think it is feasible. I'm not sure that we can get to zero carbon emissions by 2040 or 2050, but we can, and I hope we will, move in that direction as quickly as we can.
Activists like Alex Huber are wasting no time. Huber is an organizer with Environment New Mexico, a nonprofit environmental advocacy group in Albuquerque. The group is gathering 2,000 petitions from NMSU students to send to the chancellor to present to the Board of Regents. She says the goal is to transition the school to 100% renewable energy by 2050.
It's something which we talked to the chancellor about, and he is on board, which is very exciting. What he needs from us is to make sure that the community, students, faculty, staff are really engaged and support this issue. So the more signatures we get, the more support that shows, and will help present our case in showing that the community really cares about our environment, and this is where we need to head.
Huber says she hopes a commitment from NMSU will set a precedent for other schools and states to follow. The city of Las Cruces has already set a goal of 100% dependence on clean energy by 2050. Huber and other group members attended a virtual seminar given by Dr. Catherine Hayhoe, an atmospheric scientist at Texas Tech University and lead author of the 4th National Climate Assessment. Hayhoe spoke about barriers facing public acceptance of climate change. Among the many myths she dispels is the opinion scientists don't know enough.
Climate science is in fact very old. We've known for more than 100 years that trace gases in the atmosphere, no matter how few they are, they're very powerful, and they are the thermostat of the planet. By digging up and burning coal and gas and oil, as well as contributions from land use change, deforestation, and agriculture, we are wrapping an extra blanket around the planet that it does not need, and that is the main reason why the planet is warming.
The environment isn't the only climate experiencing rapid change. America's political landscape has become significantly more polarized in recent decades. President Trump is a known climate change denier, but what do politics have to do with opinions on climate change? Hayhoe says everything.
Because research has shown that the #1 predictor of whether we agree climate is changing and humans are responsible, the impacts are serious, has nothing to do with how smart we are or how much education we have. The #1 reason is simply where we fall on the political spectrum. That is the #1 predictor. And polls after the last, or actually just before the last federal election, bore this out. There was a huge difference depending on how people were going to vote on whether they agreed that climate change was happening and whether it was humans.
But Hayhoe says thermometers aren't Democrat or Republican. She says priorities on climate change shouldn't depend on party affiliation, but rather on the fact that everyone lives on the same planet. Ultimately, she says what really stands in the way is a lack of hope. That's why one of the best things experts say people can do to combat the problem is to talk about it. They say conversations can help people discover the values they share and find ways to work together. It's why Denning talks to people from all backgrounds several times a month.
I want to talk to them about solutions. I want to talk to them about being brave and ponying up and getting out there and doing the work and making the world a better place. So whether they're on one side or the other or somewhere in between, I think this is something we all ought to be talking about. And I do it as much as I can.
That combination of education and grassroots activism can help transform attitudes on climate from despairing to optimistic. For KRWG Public Media, I'm Michael Hernandez.